Hello YouTube, and welcome to my second video. I got some creepy Halloween music going here. The time is approaching. Well, in this video I wanted to cover a little mix of subjects. I have another new pipe, but I will only talk briefly about it because I think you've seen it already before me. Then I would like to do the mother of all shoutouts to thank all of those great YouTube pipe community guys that have helped me in my learning process. I will try to compress that, but it was interesting to see all the videos that I've been following and all the different kind of personalities that have been teaching me. And then I'd like to talk codger blends. You see before you a small selection of codger blends, and I will give some feedback on the ones I've tried and which one I think is the right one for me. Because as Mutton Chop Piper has always said, it's always about what you think, your taste buds, your sensory system, your aesthetic. And he's right. He's right. The master is right. By the way, you may ask yourselves, why do I do that? Hello, YouTube. You know, there was a great American weather forecast guy on Channel 9. His name was Lane Ltd, and he always did that in the 90s. You remember him on TV? Hello, St. Louis. And he always did that every time he was talking about the weather there, and he was always right about the weather. It's incredible because he said it's about science. He was a scientist, he was a meteorologist. So was his son, actually, who did later some TV work on weather forecasting. So I always think of that man, and he's still alive, still going strong, and that's why I say hello YouTube. Anyway, the pipe. This is not a mouse body bag. This is a tobacco pipe, and you have seen it because it's from Prairie Pipe Shop, isn't it? You have seen this. From Jordan Bletcher has done a little video on preparing to make this from a block of acrylic and a block of briar to the final pipe, and it is absolutely exquisite. Well, you just look at that bird's eye grain. I don't know if you can see that in this office light, but it is absolutely exquisite, beautiful, and under different lights this gives a different blue. That here is giving almost like a purple colour. It's absolutely exquisite. And yesterday I had the pleasure of smoking this masterpiece from Jordan, and it worked perfect, absolutely. 9mm filter, wonderful. And I will come to the tobacco that I smoked shortly. Shoutouts. Well, you know, I looked through several hundred, I think, of people I'd subscribed to, and I suddenly started to break them down in about roughly 10 classes of person, because there's just too many to talk about one after the other. So you have class number 1, Valhalla, the top echelon, those who are just amazing, and we all know it. The great eminences, I call them. So of course, amongst them is the artful codger, the master, the guy who does a better impression of Columbo than Peter Falk could ever do. I mean, it's incredible. I just think of this guy in a raincoat every time I see his videos, and I always watch his videos. They draw me in, and I learn enormous amounts. And I thank you, Artful Codger, for all you've done, especially putting up with my crummy Lieutenant Columbo jokes, which I really appreciate you bearing. But you know, that voice is fantastic. Stuff and Things, the good old Bradley. I mean, this guy can analyse. He is poetic. He reads like a Shakespearean actor. And he's like Mr. Sophistication. It's absolutely incredible. Good-looking young man, and knows so much and can perceive things and analyse them so beautifully, don't you think? Incredible. Matches 860, the storyteller, can sit there in the middle of a forest. There seems to be no leaves ever in your part of the world, because it's always like winter escapes. But anyway, you're comfortably sitting there next to a river, just talking. Reminds me of, you know, as a boy I go for walks with an old boy and his dog, and he just sit and tell stories, and it was mesmerising. It was beautiful as well. It got this lovely aroma of pipe smoke. I almost smell it through the video when Matches is talking. So it's a joy. Mutton Chop Piper, I mentioned that already. Explains patiently, carefully, all aspects very clearly. Very, very helpful. Very friendly. Very kind. You know, that's what I see in a lot of our pipe smokers. We are gentlemen, gentle, kind, respectful, and it helps for the learners like me. It really does. Sergeant Savinelli, great character. I love it. He's also got loads of funny stories. Him and Eric, the blue-collar piper, when we get those two together, it's incredible. I mean, the rapport, you should write the stuff down and go on stage or make a film about it. There's a lot more that belong here. I just give assortment from those I've subscribed to. Derek Tunt, of course, the mayor. Thank you, and thank these people for all the efforts they're doing in the BRTV, Briar Report, and everything to do with that. That is so useful, and I think a very wise, clever initiative. John Laughlin is there. Briar Blues is there. There's probably a lot of others, and I apologise anyone I've missed out. It just means I haven't got to you yet, but I shall do. So category 2 are those of great knowing. These are people who have basically amassed enormous knowledge of blends and experience. For example, I look, of course, for the aromatic pipe smokers, and there's one called the Aromatic Pipe. Old Soul has this most magnificent way to explain his experience with the blends. Dissocialid. You've got, of course, London Calling, Simon, who is excellent. Earl of Pipes I found very helpful, going through exactly the blends I would like to try. Aromatics and Miss Kitty, his girlfriend, who often make little videos together, and always the knowledge that I get out of this is incredible. And of course, not only blends, but pipes, for example. Aristocobs, the expert on cobs, who can dispute that? Well, then we have some professional gentlemen, the pipe lawyer, the typing piper, the magician piper. This guy from Australia who looks like a magician. He just looks like a magician. Incredible. I'm always waiting for him to sort of make the pipe disappear one time. Let's see if he does that. Professor Walker, of course, the professor. Well, then we have people, well, I tell you a funny thing about pipe smokers. A lot of them have beards. I don't. If I grow one, it would look like, you know, fluff. But some of them have magnificent beards. I'm totally jealous of them. And a lot of the ones I watched, probably for that reason, Freudian reason, I watched them, they've got these magnificent beards. So Grandpa Cavendish, in full beard, he looks like Moses. Magnificent, absolutely. Grandpa Bones, huge white beautiful beard like Father Christmas. Well, there's quite a few. There's the Pipesteader, there's Elwood Maker, there's John Hollingworth, there's the Peace Pipe Man. They're all got these incredible beards or moustaches, or both. So, you know, and they, again, have tried a lot of blends in their time, and it's really helpful. Then we've got people who are from regions, you know. So I have some, the Portland Piper, the Philly Pipe Smoker, we've got New York State whiskey and pipes. That's good. I like the ones that combine bourbon and pipes, because I like them, you know. It's what am I interested in? It's watches, pistols, bourbon, and tobacco pipes and blends, you know. Anything else? Science fiction, you know, cosmology, astronomy, a few other things, but that's already covering a lot. And then we got the different countries, of course, people from all over the world, you know. So we've got Brits like me, or I was a Brit. I've lived 30 years in Switzerland, so I'm not sure what I am now. Swiss-glish, probably, somewhere in the middle. Toking Tommy from Britain, excellent. You've got Uncle Phil's Cellar, you've got the Yorkshire Piper, you've got the Northern Pipe Shed. He always goes in his pipe shed to do his videos, it's great. And the Peachies, lovely couple, beautiful couple, who travel around Europe and look at pipe shops and share their experiences. We've got the ones from Germany. So I do speak German. I will do a few German videos for my friends there in Switzerland, Austria, Germany. You could almost say it's a common language, but there are big differences in the accent, I can honestly tell you, and the dialect. So Lars Herman, absolutely excellent. I'd go a lot to Raleigh Grufti. Raleigh Grufti is superb, and it's a bit like Mutton Chop Piper in German, because he explains and looks and analyses and patiently shares his knowledge and experience. It's absolutely superb. Krönken's Rauchzeiten, so it's Krönken's smoking time, and he's actually a great singer, this guy, as well, and he looks at a lot of blends, and he goes to the little pipe exhibitions that we have in Europe, not as big as you have in America, but even so, really interesting ones, and I love those. And then there's Jean Panzer. Jean Panzer is in Switzerland, the same country. I have to meet this chap, and he does lovely videos, a lot of them in English, so really a good guy to follow. And then in Canada we have the Prairie Pipe Shop, I mentioned, Jordan Bletcher, excellent, and we have Mo Piping, and Mo Piping is a lady, and it's refreshing to see a lady in pipe smoking. I think there will be more with time. And the last category is men of cloth, the clergy. The clergy are with us also, and that's reassuring somehow, to make sure we don't stray off the straight and narrow. So of course Padre Piper everyone knows, and we have one or two others, the Holy Smoking Pipe Padre and Big Pastor T, three that I've subscribed to, but I'm sure in any of these categories there are more. And a special mention to, I think, if I didn't already, Eric the Blue Collar Piper. Yes, I did, with Sergeant Sav Pernelli, but I actually promote him to Valhalla because I think he belongs there. And he's hilarious, that guy. He's got such humour. Anyway, so let me move on. Codger blends. You know, I was inspired, of course, by Lieutenant Colombo, Artful Codger, to try Velvet first, and I did. And the thing I like about all of these is they are easy to smoke. Most are ready rubbed, or maybe the cut doesn't really matter. You put them in, you do a char light. Quite often you don't even need to do anything after that. They smoke easily. They usually got a fair amount of burley in them, a lot of them, and it's easy to regulate with more smoke. That's what I like about burley. I find, though, the taste of burley, this little nutty pastry taste, is very, very mild, and I'm struggling a little bit on that point, because what I want is flavour. I want flavour. I know the room note can be nice. I know the tin note can be wonderful with all kinds of beautiful aromas. All of these do have that. But suddenly, when you want to taste it, it's disappeared. And that's a bit my problem. I don't have very sensitive taste buds, I think. They need quite strong flavours for me to pick out. And I found, for example, with Velvet, very nice, but I wasn't picking up a great deal. It says it's Burley based, so maybe there's a bit of Virginia or something in there. It says in Pipe Tobacco, tobaccoreviews.com, that there's liqueur topping in there. Some people say there's a bit of aniseed, that there's nice sweetness and some nut flavour. I get a kind of minor kiss of that, but otherwise I couldn't pick up anything. So I've decided that I will tin them up and jar them up and cellar them and return to them later on, because I've learned from the community that you should do that. It can be better after some time being put in the cellar for maybe a year or so, and somehow you're different after a year, and maybe you'll like it. So and I do notice that I can return to tobaccos and think, well, is this even the same one? It seems so different. So this is not the final verdict. This is just what I found by the first pass, as it were. I tried Prince Albert here, and I basically found that was a little bit more flavourful. It's got a bit of black Cavendish in it. That surely has helped it. Now, I've got a lot of black Cavendish blends in my collection because I like aromatics that are a bit finicky if they've got a lot of black Cavendish in, and they don't have the same easy smoking, easy burning attributes that you have with Burley. So a mixture is a good idea. I have some Burley even that I doctor some blends with to try and even it out, either take the nicotine down or to make it something that will burn better and more constantly, and to even it out, mild it out above all. I find it's a very nice doctor tobacco, Burley. You can do a lot of things with. And I have a nice pack of Swiss Burley. Yes, we have tobacco in Switzerland, can you believe it? I buy from Roth, which is a Roth factory, they call themselves. It was the first place I bought a pipe at, and I bought some Swiss tobacco, and it's very useful to mix in. Anyway, Prince Albert, a bit of chocolate, there is a bit of coffee, and there is a kiss of nut again, but very, very mild, very gentle. And I thought, yeah, it's all right, you know, I could smoke it. It's easily an all-day smoke, but it's not enough flavour, not by far enough. Carter Hall, where are we? Here. This was good. This starts to get there. I must say that gave me a bit more faith. You know, that's Burley and Virginia. Helps sweetness, and bourbon, cocoa, and chocolate. And yes, I'm getting it. I was feeling it with this one. I thought this is this is moving in the right direction. Gave me faith, and definitely I like that one. That one I could see myself smoking already, even without putting this away for a year or whatever. Lane Ltd. Actually got this not long ago. Thought I had to try it, and it's also nice. I like this. Molasses and rum is the topping. Burley based. That means what, 90% Burley and some Virginia probably. I don't know. And like I said, they're all attractive looking tobaccos. You know, nice and easy to keep the right sort of the right consistency. You know, they look like they're nice to smoke, nice, and whether they're ribbon or coarse cut, it doesn't matter. You put those in the pipe, they'll work. And I can pick up there the bready and chocolatey notes, beautiful, but most important in the mouth, I can pick them up. That's the important thing. So then we come to good old Captain Black. Everyone said, well, you should try Captain Black. You know, there's white, there's gold, there's copper. I went straight to this new one, dark, because they said this is vanilla bomb. I said, I need that. I've tried quite a few vanilla tobaccos, and I pick it up, and they're nice, but you know, again, mild. You know, there's sort of sweetness, and you think, well, sort of kiss of vanilla, but you know, I really want vanilla. This one goes closer than most others. It is black of the Ace of Spades, this, because it's pure black Cavendish, and that means it's nice and sweet, and I like it. I mean, I like desserts, you know. My wife is a savoury person, and I like all the sweet stuff, unfortunately, you know, but in fact I like all food of any kind really, but I like sweet things, and I really loved smoking this, and this one I could easily think I'm not going to keep this tin for a year. I'll probably get back to this at some point. Was very nice. The only 12-ounce tub I have. That sounded like Michael Caine, didn't it? The only 12-ounce tub I have. A little bit. I'll work on that. Is Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic. Now, not to be confused with regular Sir Walter Raleigh, which everyone says, oh, I've tried Sir Walter Raleigh. No. Regular Sir Walter Raleigh is somewhere between Prince Albert and Carlo Hall. It's not bad, but it's also very, very mild. But Sir Walter Raleigh Aromatic hit the spot. At the moment, that is my return to restore my faith in pipe smoking and tobaccos. If I have a run of blends which I think these are not really, you know, I didn't like them, I didn't enjoy them, I can always return to this one. I will always enjoy it. It will always work. And it's the only one, the only blend, and I have, I don't know, 150 tins that I got in 12 ounce and I've ordered 2 more of those because I'm worried about what happens to the blends at Lane closing the factory. What a shame. Still, I'm told it shouldn't affect the product portfolio. I've heard that before. I've been in enough industry, businesses and factories where they've closed it, and don't tell me they will not rationalise their product lines. They have less capacity. But let's see. I will wait and we will see. But I've protected myself because this one I just love. I'm sorry, I just love it. I give it 5 stars. It is beautiful. It has all the attributes of the others. Easy smoking, nice white smoke. Now, why is that? There are 2 liqueurs in this. That helps to give you a more intensive taste. And it's Burley, Virginia, rather like Prince Albert, but I think there's a bit more Virginia in this. And it is just beautifully blended. And I've lost a pumpkin, never mind. But absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So, I'm sorry, this reigns supreme over all other codger blends at the moment. I realise there are others I haven't tried, and early days, so I think it's hard for something to beat this. This is really my thing. So, that's that. And that brings me almost to the end, but not quite. Has anyone ever heard of Bela Lugosi? Bela Lugosi. Well, he did one of the famous Dracula films, 1931. Not as early as Max Schreck, who did the very first one, which is also pretty scary, I thought. Max Schreck really looks, weird, even in that old silent version of Dracula. But in terms of talkies, Bela Lugosi was the guy that did Dracula. And my next video, I have a special guest star who's going to be doing a video for us on my channel. And I have painted a picture. Yes, I am an artist. Well, not really an artist. I just paint for a hobby and enjoy it. And, well, I met this guy a long time ago. A long time ago. I don't call myself Redcoat for nothing. Was it Waterloo? Sometime around then. Anyway, and he always said, I want to have picture. I want to have beautiful picture of me. Please, somebody, but no, not in sunlight, Anyway. Do you recognize this man? I called him Vlad, just for the sake of abbreviation. Well, as a kind of likeness, don't you think, with Dracula and Bela Lugosi, and there's of course his favourite bat, which I painted up here. And actually, I don't know if you can see this. Not really. Let me just show you something out of fun. This should astound you. You see it? He has glowing eyes. Anyway. So, Vlad will be, in a few days, the 1st of November, in the late afternoon, doing a video of his favourite pipe and his favourite tobacco. Well, why shouldn't he be a pipe smoker too? It's not just the living that enjoy it, and he doesn't have any health risks because he's dead anyway. Ideal, isn't it, really? So do join me. I want to join him, actually. I won't be there for that video, and it was great fun to do this, number 2, and number 3 is to follow soon. And thank you very much for looking in, and see you next time.